Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Thank you all for your continued love and support of the channel. I really do appreciate it. And just a quick reminder that if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you're interested in doing so, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below so that you'll always be notified when I upload a new video. So in today's pick a card reading, we're going to be getting the channeled message of the day from Spirit. And to do this reading, I've laid out 3 piles of cards here. Pile 1, you're going to be this white crystal here. Pile 2, you're going to be the brown crystal here. And pile 3, you're going to be this green calcite crystal here. So take a minute and focus on the piles and decide which one you're most drawn to. You can then scroll down to the description box below where I have timestamps listed for each pile. You can then click on your timestamp and you'll be directly forwarded to your reading. So let's get into this reading. Hi, pile 1s, you guys chose the white crystal here. Let's take a look at your message of the day. So you have Psyche here, and it says third eye knowledge and intuition. Just going to cover this here. You have spirit guides here with celestite. You have going forward. You have sovereign, and it says you are the queen of your life. Treat yourself like royalty. You have the dead end job. And you have the balancer. Beautiful energy here, pile 1. So I'm getting the message from Spirit here, pile 1, that you have a very strong intuition in this pile. You are someone that is very tuned in to your third eye, to your higher self, to your spirit guides. And I really feel like you are receiving strong messages from Spirit within your everyday life here. I do feel like your spirit guides are around you because you do have the spirit guides card here. So I do feel like they are with you, they're working with you, and I feel like they're helping you or wanting you to move forward here. There's something about maybe a job that you have or a project that you're working on that may be sort of a dead end here, or something that is not fulfilling you anymore, something that is not in alignment with you. And there may be a need to release that. I feel like this going forward card is talking about releasing something and moving forward in your path. So for some of you in this pile, there may be a need to leave a job or find a new job, or, something about releasing something here and finding this balance again within your life. Finding that place of happiness and balance. And I also feel like, there's a need here to focus on yourself right now and focus on self-care, self-love, because you are the queen of your life here. And Spirit and your guides want you to treat yourself like a queen, They want you to be in that sovereign energy that we have here, where you treat yourself like a queen, and you take care of yourself, you love yourself. So there's also that message coming through here. So I just want to get some tarot now to clarify this energy here. So you have the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is someone who practices self-love and self-care. They give to themselves. They also, are loving with others. But I feel like with this card, it's mostly about loving yourself here, pile one, taking the time to care for yourself, maybe buying yourself some flowers or doing something nice for yourself, is the message I get here. You also have the Hermit here, which is about this third eye knowledge and intuition. I feel like this group is very intuitive, like I said, and you're very in touch with your inner world and your higher self. And it's important to take that time out to polish your intuition and to sit with your higher self. So I do feel that energy coming through strongly here. You also have the Queen of Pentacles, which is a beautiful energy because that is, this balance energy here, because the Queen of Pentacles is very balanced. She's very grounded. She is successful and she's loving and she's, grounded in what she's doing and in her life. And so I do feel like there is this energy of finding this balance if you haven't already, and really focusing on maybe releasing something, a job or career that is no longer fulfilling for you, is no longer moving forward. So there's a need to sort of release that and get back into this Queen of Pentacles energy here, where you're moving forward and you're successful and you're feeling good about what you're doing. So finally, you have the Eight of Wands here, which is a fast-moving energy. It's sort of like a call for action. It's when things move forward. And it's interesting because you have this going forward energy here. And that's what the Eight of Wands is about. It's about moving forward. So for some of you, like I said, there's a need to get out of some type of situation, a project, an opportunity, a job, that's not moving forward. And there's a need to release that so that you can move forward on your path. But like I said, that's not going to resonate for everybody here. So I just want to get some charms now to wrap up this reading here. So Spirit, can I get some charms for pile one, please? Okay. So you have this cactus here that looks like it's flowering. So I do feel like for some of you, you may be in this sort of dry spell right now, this desert energy where things are not moving, things are sort of, dried up. Things aren't flowering. So like I said, for some of you, this may have to do with the job, but it doesn't have to. But there's a need to really water this desert here, find a new job or find, a new opportunity for yourself so that you can move forward. You also have this violin here. So maybe some of you like to play the violin, or maybe listen to the violin, or maybe, there's a need to sort of incorporate music more into your life. I do feel like music can be very healing, and it can also help you get in touch with your intuition. So for some of you, there's a call here to listen to music, because I do feel like it will help you get in touch with your intuition. You also have this purse here. So maybe for some of you, this dead-end job is not providing you with enough money or resources. Maybe there's a need to release that so that you can find a better paying job, or maybe for some of you, you've been spending a little too much and there's a need to sort of pull back on that. You also have this little, looks like either coffee cup or smoothie. I'm not sure. It looks like a coffee cup. And, that can be about, sort of waking up. The coffee cup is like a wake up call, So for some of you, I do feel like there's a need to sort of wake up and make a change here, wake up and smell the coffee, so to speak. So interesting. Or maybe some of you just love coffee in this pile. Finally, you have this 4-leaf clover here. So I do feel like there is some sort of luck here that's surrounding you. And, for some of you, this may resonate as, maybe there's this lucky opportunity waiting for you, this new job that's going to bring you happiness, that's going to bring you more money. So, I do feel like you have luck around you right now in terms of whatever changes you need to make. So I love that. So that is all I have for you guys today, Pile 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading and I hope it was helpful. If it was, please let me know down below. Otherwise, have a great day and I'll see you next time. Bye. At pile 2, so you guys chose this brown crystal here. Let's take a look at your message of the day. So you have the Holy Grail here, and it says wisdom, regeneration, spirit. You also have thorns here. You have luminary, and it says activate, brighten, impact, determine. You have ask for help. You have I am worthy. And finally, you have heart chakra. And it says the frequency of the heart chakra, the green flower of life, supports our capacity to love deeply and unconditionally. Its healing properties harmonize the mind and the body. Wow, beautiful energy. So I'm getting the message from Spirit here, pile 2, that you may have been going through some difficulties lately, because we do have the thorns energy here, which represents sort of a difficult time or obstacles in your path, or, sort of that prickly energy, that energy where, if the thorns stick us, it hurts, it's painful. So there may be, something difficult that you've been going through here. And I do feel like for some of you, there is a need to sort of tune into your wisdom and, maybe ask for help. This could be asking others around you for help, your friends, your family, maybe seeking help from a professional. But there's a need to sort of really, reach out to others right now and maybe ask them for help. Maybe you're feeling burdened, or maybe you're feeling like you need, help in some area of your life, whether that's, physically or emotionally or spiritually, however it resonates here. But there is a call from Spirit to sort of reach out to others right now. And I feel like there's also a need to tune into your heart chakra right now and really love yourself and understand that you are worthy, pile 2, and you are this beautiful being here that is full of light. We have this light all around this flower here that this woman is holding. So I do feel like you have this beautiful light within you, and it's just about recognizing that and understanding that you are worthy of everything. And, it's sort of important right now to tune into your heart chakra, maybe work on opening your heart chakra and loving yourself as well as others, because this card talks about our capacity to love deeply and unconditionally. And I feel like this is about loving yourself unconditionally, realizing that you are worthy, that you are capable. And, There's also a message here about activating something, and for a lot of you, like I said, this is about activating your heart chakra, I feel. And coming into that place of alignment, that place of self-love, that place of acceptance. For others of you, it could be about, activating your spirit, getting in touch with spirit more. And for some of you, it could be about activating, this need for help, reaching out to others, making steps towards, gaining assistance. So it can resonate differently here. But with the luminary energy, I really get this energy of like activating your inner light, connecting with spirit, connecting with your guides, and getting in touch, with this holy grail. It talks about spirit here. So I do feel like for a lot of you, this is about getting in touch with that inner light and activating, that connection with yourself and with your spirit guides here. So interesting energy. So I just want to get some tarot now to clarify this energy. So you have the Queen of Swords here. And that can be, this wisdom that we talked about before. I do feel like those of you who chose this pile are very wise. And I do feel like you do have a strong connection with spirit, because we do have this bird here on this woman's hand. So I do feel like you are closely connected to spirit here and to your guides. And you're also very wise, and you're very just, and you're very fair, and you're very worthy. You're capable of a lot, pile 2. And spirit just wants you to recognize that and to love yourself for that. And, sometimes the Queen of Swords can be someone who is very independent, who thinks she can do everything on her own by herself. And spirit is really saying, you may be trying to do that right now. And that's why things are sort of thorny, because there's a need to really ask for help, to gain assistance here, to not try to do everything yourself independently. So that message is coming through strongly here. You also have the 5 of Cups, which is that thorny energy here. The 5 of Cups can be about disappointment. It can be about heartache. It can be about obstacles, difficulties. So I do feel like, like I said, things may have been hard, and there may be a need to ask for help here. Maybe you need to ask your family for help, ask your, friends if they can assist you, ask, a counselor if they can help you, however it resonates here. You also have the Strength card here. And that's about, getting in touch with your inner strength, your willpower, your, this activate energy, realizing that you are worthy, you are capable, you are strong, pile 2. And getting in touch with that inner strength. And sometimes strength is about, being able to ask for help, being willing to sort of understand that, you can't do everything yourself and you need help. That's being strong, pile 2. So that is coming through again here. You also have the 4 of Wands. And that's about establishing a stable environment for ourselves, being in this place of happiness, this place of stability, this place of balance. And, for some of you, this could have to do with like an emotional situation, a family, a partnership. Maybe you need to ask for help within a partnership or within a family. However it resonates here, but this talks about finding stability, finding balance. So I do see that being important here as well. So I just want to get some charms now to finish up this reading. So Spirit, can I get some charms for pile 2, please? Okay. Well, take that one. So you have this little cloud here, which makes a lot of sense because like I just said before, there is some sad or, stormy energy here. Um, some difficulties. So I do see that, maybe you've been feeling like things have been just, cloudy lately. They've been, not either moving forward, or there have been obstacles in your path, sort of that cloudy energy is coming through. You also have this mermaid here, which I feel like is a very magical energy, a very sort of dreamy, whimsical energy. So, for some of you, maybe you need to spend more time near the water. That may help you in terms of sort of getting out of this cloudy energy here. But there's also a need to sort of, I feel like, look at things in a more lighter, whimsical way, maybe romanticizing your life, making things bright and beautiful again, getting into that magical energy. You also have this, it looks like a llama here with hearts on its eyes. So again, there's a need to sort of tune into your heart chakra here. Learn to love yourself, learn to, understand that you're worthy. Focus on your heart. You also have this, looks like cactus here. So like I said, things have been thorny, things have been prickly. Things have been difficult lately. And, like I said, there may be a need to ask for help here. You also have this little chickadee, it looks like, chicken. So yeah, I do feel like, there's also a need to sort of be in this playful energy right now, for some of you. But I also get the message here that, maybe you've been running around like a chicken without a head, trying to do too much, trying to take on too much. And there's a need to really slow down and maybe ask others for help. Ask others to, do some of the things you've felt burdened by. There's also this little flower here. And I feel like, for some of you, maybe you need to buy yourself flowers, or maybe you need to spend time in nature with the flowers. That can lift our spirits and that can inspire us. So that's coming through as well. And finally, you have this little starfish here. So again, water may be very helpful for this pile. Spending time by the ocean, spending time by a lake, a pool, however it resonates here. The starfish can also talk about regeneration, so maybe there's a need for, rebirth and regeneration here within this pile. Things have been difficult, so there's a need to sort of transform that energy and rebirth yourself, getting into that energy of regeneration here. And it's funny because you also had that on your main card. The Holy Grail is also about regeneration. So very interesting, pile 2. So that is all I have for you guys today, pile 2. I hope you enjoyed this reading and I hope it was helpful. If it was, please let me know down below. Otherwise, have a great day and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi, pile 3. So you guys chose the green calcite here. Let's take a look at your message of the day. So you have vision here. You also have mirror guardian, and it says take time to reflect. You have Electra here, and it says electricity, thunderbolt, activation. You are subconsciously connecting with the awesome power that lies in the energy of the stars. Intergalactic transmission from a place beyond time. A message is coming. Be open-minded. You also have release your cares to God. Oh, that I had wings like a dove, then I would fly away and rest. Psalm 55:6. you have birth here. Just going to cover this. And finally, you have expansion. And it says, spread your wings and soar. Share your message and shine your light. Show the world what you're made of. Beautiful energy, pile 3. So I'm getting the message from Spirit here, pile 3, that you may have a vision or dream right now that you're trying to manifest, or that you're in the process of manifesting. Because we do have the vision card here, and we also have a card about activation. So maybe there's something you're trying to manifest here. That could be a project, a goal, a dream, a new job, a relationship, however it manifests here, however it resonates here. But with this birth energy, I get the feeling that, there's something that you may be trying to birth here. And for some of you, this could even be, the birth of a child, a person. But for a lot of you, I feel like it's about, the birth of a dream or an idea, something that you're trying to manifest here. And for some of you, there's a need to sort of reflect, to go within and maybe look at the steps you need to take in order to manifest this goal. What do you need to do to get from here to there? Or what, maybe for some of you that haven't started this yet, what do you want to manifest? What is it that lights your fire? What is it that activates you, that makes you, want to pursue something, or what is that something, so I feel like there's a need to reflect. And I also feel like, with this release your cares to God, maybe for some of you in this pile, you've been trying to manifest something, but it's been difficult. It's been hard. You've had obstacles, you've had, barriers. And it's important to sort of let go and let God right now, release it to God, release it to your guides, and just be, let it be, let it come in divine timing, and sort of let go of that fear, that worry, that anxiety, and just let it be. We also have this beautiful energy of expansion here, so I do feel like there's a call from Spirit to just, like I said, let it be, but also express yourself, show the world whatever this is that you're trying to manifest here. Show the world what you're made of. Show the world this beautiful thing that you're trying to create or manifest here, and just let it be, spread your wings and soar is what this card says. So there's really this beautiful energy of, activation and electricity here. And so I do feel like there's, whatever this project or goal is, it's like a spark, it's going to expand. It's going to, be beautiful. It's going to, be this thunderbolt, this electricity here. So, and I also get the message, that you are in this sort of energy of connecting with the stars here. This energy of connecting with the cosmos and, the collective and the larger energies here. So whatever this is that you're manifesting, I do see this broad, galactic aspect about it. So that's really beautiful, pile 3. So I just want to get some tarot now to clarify this energy here. So you have the 2 of Wands. Yeah, and that talks about, planning towards this opportunity, taking the time to reflect, taking the time to plan, taking the time to maybe write down what you need to do to make this vision a reality, really planning things out. You also have the King of Swords here. And that's about, using your intellect and using your strategy to make this happen. The King of Swords is someone who plans, he strategizes, he uses his mind, his intellect to manifest. And I feel like that is what Spirit is calling you to do here. Use your wisdom, use your inner guidance, and use your ability to plan here, to reflect, to, write down maybe what you need to do here, strategize. You also have the Two of Wands energy here, which is about you know what, guys? I just realized that this was the Nine of Wands. I thought this was the Two of Wands. So anyways, that message still applies for this card, but I'm going to go back to this Nine of Wands here, because the Nine of Wands can be about anxiety or stress or worry. So I do feel like with the Nine of Wands here, there is a need to release your cares to your higher power, to your guides, and just let things be. Like I said, let this manifestation happen in divine timing, and release the worry, release the stress associated with this vision here. You also have the Nine of Pentacles, which is beautiful because that talks about success. That talks about fulfilling our wishes, our goals, and reaping the rewards of that. Being in a place of comfort, of, even luxury, having the resources we need, feeling fulfilled with our goal. So I do feel like this will come for you, pile 3. I do see you reaching your goal, your vision here in the future. And I do feel like it will be a very beautiful time for you here. So I love that. So I just want to get some charms now to wrap up your reading here. So Spirit, can I get some charms for pile 3, please? Okay, so you have these 2 hearts that are combined here, which talks about union. So I do feel like you will unite with this goal here. I do feel like it will happen for you. Whatever this vision is, it will happen for you, pile 3. You will unite with this goal here. You also have this butterfly here, which talks about change and transformation. So I do feel like whatever this vision is here, it will change the world in some way, or it will change you in some way. But there will be a change here, some sort of transformation that happens as a result of this vision. You also have this little, looks like palm tree here. So I feel like that's about growth, and about stability, and grounding, So grounding may be very helpful for you guys right now, grounding your energy, doing breath work, doing meditation. I do feel like this vision or project will grow in the future. And I feel like it's important to stabilize it, to plan for it, to ground it into reality here. You also have this key here. So, for some of you, I do feel like, maybe this vision is the key to your heart here. It's something you're very connected to. It's something you're very passionate about. It's something that you love doing. So there's that energy. You also have the heart, another heart here. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of love for whatever this project or goal is. You're very connected with it. It's very aligned with you. You also have another key here. Wow. So yeah, I guess, I feel like this key, maybe the key to your happiness, or the key to your, yeah, the key to your happiness, the key to your success here is what is coming through. So I love that. So that is all I have for you guys today, pile 3. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope it was helpful. If it was, please let me know down below. Otherwise, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.